Nine-tailed fox. Nine-tailed fox is a mythical fox entity originating from Chinese mythology. That is a common motif in East Asian mythology. In East Asian folklore, fox are depicted as a familiar spirit possessed of magic powers. This fox are depicted as mischievous, usually tricking other people with the ability to disguise themselves as a beautiful woman. The fox spirit is an especially prolific shapeshifter, known variously as the Hulijing fox spirit in China, the Kitsune fox in Japan, and the Kamiho nine-tailed fox in Korea. Although the specifics of the tales vary, this fox can usually shapeshift, often taking the form of beautiful young women who attempt to seduce men to consume their bodies or spirits. Nine-tailed fox appear in Chinese folklore, literature, and mythology, in which, depending on the tale, can be a good or a bad omen. The motif of nine-tailed fox from Chinese culture were eventually transmitted and introduced to the Japanese and Korean cultures. During the Han Dynasty, the development of ideas about interspecies transformation had taken place in Chinese culture. The idea that non-human creatures with advancing age could assume a human form is presented in works such as Lun Hang by Wang Chong. As these traditions developed, the fox's capacity for transformation was shaped. The nine-tailed fox occurs in the Shanhaijing, compiled from the Warring States period to the Western Han period. The work states, "The land of green hills lies north of Tianwu. The fox there have 4 legs and 9 tails." According to another version, it is located north of Sunrise Valley. In Chapter 14 of the Shanhaijing, Guo Pu had commented that the nine-tailed fox was an auspicious omen that appeared during times of peace. However, in Chapter 1, another aspect of the nine-tailed fox is described. 300 miles farther east is Green Hills Mountain, where much jade can be found on its south slope and green cinnabar on its north. There is a beast here whose form resembles a fox with 9 tails. It makes a sound like a baby and is a man-eater. In a Tang Dynasty story, foxes could become humans by wearing a skull and worshipping the Big Dipper. They would try multiple skulls till they found one that fit without falling off. On the eve of the Jurchen invasion, a fox went to the throne of Dynasty Emperor Haizong. This resulted in Haizong ordering the destruction of all fox temples in Kaifeng. The city was invaded the next day, and the dynasty fell after 5 months. In one ancient myth, Yu the Great encountered a white nine-tailed fox. In Han iconography, the nine-tailed fox is depicted at Mount Kunlun with Shuangmu as the goddess of immortality. According to the 1st century Bai Hutong, the fox's 9 tails symbolize abundant progeny. Guo Pu described the transformation and other features of the fox. When a fox is 50 years old, it can transform itself into a woman. When 100 years old, it becomes a beautiful female. Such beings are able to know things at more than 1,000 miles distance. They can sorcery men to lose their memory and knowledge. And when a fox is 1,000 years old, it ascends to heaven and becomes a celestial fox. The Yuyang Zazu made a connection between nine-tailed foxes and the divine. Among the arts of the Wei, there's a specific doctrine of the celestial fox. The doctrine says that the celestial fox has 9 tails and a golden color. It serves in the palace of the sun and moon and has its own Fu talisman and a Jiao ritual. It can transcend yin and yang. Popular fox worship during the Tang Dynasty has been mentioned in a text entitled Hu Shen Fox Gods. Since the beginning of the Tang, many commoners have worshipped fox spirits. They make offerings in their bedchambers to beg for their favor. The fox share people's food and drink. At the time there was a figure of speech saying, "If there is no fox demon, no village can be established."